So,
Abhishek,
Yes,
And the other, everyone else so far is people from our church, but oh, you'll see Shangping is just coming, Shangping Shi. And
oh,
uh,
yes, sir.
so Chung Fu and Mu Yin are, they live here in Northeast Seattle, and they are Chung is in my department, and Mu Yin is also an atmospheric scientist, and she
Wow,
works for.
great.
And
Good morning, sir.
this is Shangping Shi and he's at Scripps in the southwest of United States.
Oh,
And he has been following your activities and helping with the food for the
great.
families. And I think everybody else is from our church so far. There may be a few more.
and I see Bob Fujimura.
Yes,
Hey,
Bob
Bob.
is here. Hi, Bob.
Haven't seen you in a while, Bob.
hello, Judy.
Hi,
Haven't seen
sir.
you.
No, because I got a text from Greg saying he can't get in.
Yes.
But you should be able to call Dave Campbell and get in. So Greg stayed home, because the reason Paul couldn't, Greg couldn't get in is that Paul comes in, Joey lets him in, and Paul is. I know, and Greg said he gave you, sent you a text,
I'll try to get her to mute.
but I said, well, yeah, and no, I know, that's what I was afraid of. So, let me, wait a minute, I'm on Enrichment hour, let me make sure.
Good. Well, I think even though I'm sure there's still some more people coming on, I think we probably should try to start on time because we really have a full program this
Okay.
morning. And first, just let me again, for those who haven't met him, this is Abhishek Kumar. And
Hi,
Abhishek
sir.
he is, in effect, he's our co-presenter this morning because he's going to be doing a lot of the presentation. He is from Ballia, or we're going to call it Barbary, the village that I'm going to show you in just a minute. But he's joining us from Calcutta, where he's spending a couple of weeks. So without further ado, I'd like to just kind of give you the geographical setting. And this is applicable not only to the presentation this week, but also next week when Sue is going to be talking about education. It's from exactly the same region. It's just down the street from the place we're going to be talking about today. So Greg, if we could go to the first slide. A map of India, you can see the Himalayas there at the top of the green. Everything south of there is India, and the star is indicating the location of the Birarbari block, as I'm going to call it. And you'll see what that is in a minute. Next slide. A map of India. Oh, Greg, these are coming out. Can you put these into a landscape mode?
Everybody can just tilt their heads.
Well, except you're only seeing 2/3 of the picture,
Well,
but
don't fuss about it.
I didn't know. So that's the way they came out on yours. That's supposed that Ian.
Yeah, I'll fix that, Mike.
Okay,
Sorry
well,
about
I can keep talking while you're on it. These, you're seeing India broken up into states. And these are roughly the size somewhere between Montana and Texas. And so I'm highlighting the state that we're going to be in, which is called the Uttar Pradesh, which is in the pink. And
Go to the next one.
we'll
You got 6 minutes.
Maybe we can go to the next one. I think I can be still talking, don't want to lose too much time. So this is what looks like when you take Uttar Pradesh, that state, and break it up into
Counties.
districts, which are kind of like our counties. And the counties here, or the districts, are about the size of King County, coincidentally. And then if we go on to the next one, we're going to look at now we got it. Good. So yeah, if we can go up, Greg, if we could go back up to the previous one. So now we're seeing the whole of Uttar Pradesh, the whole state, and it looks kind of like a hoofed animal with the head to the left, and you see the tail on the left, the pink tail.
On the right.
Well, that's on the right, excuse me. And that is the Ballia district, And that's what's about the size of King County. And then next we'll see a blow up of the Ballia district, and that in turn is broken up into 16 administrative districts, or called blocks. And the Barabari block is one of those 16 in that little tail. That's the pink in the middle. And you see the other colored blocks, those are where the arsenic is. They're about an hour's drive from Barabari. And you see the Ganga River, that's the Ganges. And the Gagara River, another big river flowing into it, flowing both with their headwaters in the Himalayas. Next slide, we see that Barabari is, I should say, that's about the size of North Seattle, the Barabari block, and it has 116 villages in it. 106, imagine 116 villages in Northeast Seattle. And this is one of the villages. This is the village of Barabari. And this is where the water center is. And this is where Abhishek's home is. And Sue's talk next week will be about the village just down the road from this one. So now that's the setting. Now we'll talk about arsenic. Next slide just shows that it's a world problem. Most countries have arsenic, just one red dot per country that has arsenic. Looks like there's a lot of arsenic in Europe, but that's just that there's a lot of countries in Europe that have arsenic. And you see one dot for India. Next slide, you get a better idea of what it really looks like. And we can see the map of India again, those little pieces in there, those are the districts. And the Ballia district is one of them. I can't tell precisely, I couldn't locate it precisely where it is, but it's in this cluster of red districts, and they are along these big rivers flowing down from the Himalayas. And that's where the arsenic comes from, down these rivers for 50 million years since the Himalayas first formed. The amount of arsenic in the rivers is harmless. It's way below the standards. But the problem is that there are bacteria that live in the wetlands along the rivers that concentrate the bacteria in mud, concentrate the arsenic in mud, and the mud gets buried and forms sediments, and the arsenic has remained in those sediments. And it's about 50 to 100 feet down. Only recently, since the invention of the bore well, that the wells are deep enough to tap into that layer. And so that's become a real problem. Next slide, we just get some indication of the health issues with it. One of Abhishek's pictures, this is very common. People with black lesions on their hands, they get much worse than this. This is the beginning of serious disease. This often turns into cancers of internal organs and the host of other maladies that come with this. When people get to this point, they're in real danger, and there isn't much in the way of medical facilities available for them. Next slide. Abhishek started back in about 5 years ago, going around to these villages and testing the water, and you can see the level of interest. He no sooner showed up in a town with his test kit and surrounded by people bringing samples to test. And based on these samples, next slide, he's made, we call them balloon maps, showing just exactly where the safe wells, the green ones, and the unsafe wells, the red ones. And this is based on hundreds of those individual measurements of wells. And you can see it's very complicated. This village has, part of it is contaminated, part of it is pretty safe. And if you lived in that village, it's kind of like to know where your well was relative to the red and green dots. So I think, see, that is the end of my slides, and we'll, we see the problem. And so now I'd like to pose to Abhishek the question of what did the government do when it found out about this problem back around 2005? It was discovered. Abhishek, can you just give us a little bit of the history?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In response to discovery of arsenic contamination in Ballia district, UP Jal Nigam. Jal Nigam is a government agency that helps with safe water. So when arsenic detected in Ballia district, they requested people to use India Marka second hand pump because it was in deeper aquifer, and at that time people know that arsenic is just in shallow aquifer. But after some time they found that shallow and deep aquifer both have arsenic. So they changed their plan, and in 2008 they started two projects. One was filtering, another one was overhead tank. So with filtering system they did in two ways. One was domestic filter and another was community based filter. They distributed some domestic filter and they tried to get the result, and after some time they found that their domestic filters are getting clogged just because of high arsenic and iron. So they left this program and they thought about community based program. With the help of UNICEF, UP Jal Nigam started community based filters, and they installed 365 this type of filters in different areas of arsenic prone in Ballia district. And they tried to help, but it did not help just because of mismanagement. They installed the filters without any sampling, without any survey. They just install these filters and based up their friendship and their relationship. They did not go in that area where there was arsenic. They just go randomly and installed. It was another issue, and some other issues among them, that is the spare materials were not available in local market, and if the filters are not working, so that material was not available in the market, so they did not repair if they are not working. And the media was not also available, so they did not recharge. And the most important issue was that lack of backwash. They install and hand over to the society. They did not give any fund for backwash. So due to lack of backwash, it failed. They also did that. They drill about 120 to 160-meter deeper, and they pump water and collected in a overhead tank, and they distributed with the piping system to the village. And we have tested that this type of overhead tank water is also not under WHO permissible limit. The WHO permissible limit is 10 microgram per liter. And after testing, we have found that it is more than 10 microgram per liter. So we can say that it is also not safe. So by this, they have done many things. And when I asked that why you people are not thinking to make it successful, they make many excuses that if we will do good things at one time, so many projects will not come. So by this, they did a lot, but it was not sustainable for a long time. After installation, 6 months or 1 year, they worked, and after that, they stopped.
Maybe we can just see one I think we have just two quick pictures of the filters, Greg. Maybe while we're waiting for that, if
Yeah,
there's
I have a question. I was gonna say, if we're waiting, when did they start drilling the wells that became a problem for arsenic? They were deep enough that they were a problem.
the first back to the 50s and 60s, and
Okay.
it just became increasingly more widespread. Really, I think a lot of the changes were in the 80s and 90s, and even past the turn of the century. And now it's almost all bore wells, they're called, the thin, deep ones that are just a couple of inches in diameter.
The other thing is they didn't detect it. It takes about 20 years for arsenic poison to show up in your body. So it's cumulative. So they wouldn't have detected it, immediately when people started drinking the contaminated water.
They knew it was going to be a problem because in Bangladesh, it had been detected earlier and people were getting sick earlier. This is one of the community filters, as Abhishek called it, the small ones that the government installed hundreds of these. And then we have a photo of one of the big overhead tanks, and which is fed by artesian wells. These are just monumental pieces of equipment. But as Abhishek pointed out, the water is not really up to the WHO standards, and there are problems with the distribution of that as well. They've installed piping systems that don't last very long, and a number of other things.
Not only we walked past one, Abhishek took us to one, and not only do the piping systems last long, even if people dig them up and steal them. So
Yes.
we were running power just like that, and you could see where the ground all around it had been dug up and the pipes had been taken out.
So it looks beautiful, but it's not all that helpful. So that's it for the. Oh yeah. Oh, one more question, Abhishek. So the government's work didn't do very well. What about the NGOs? Were any of the NGOs able to do
Yes.
better at?
The UP Jal Nigam mitigation efforts have relatively little impact on poor families living in the village in arsenic prone areas. But NGOs and some other societies have also done for safe water in arsenic prone areas. Among them, World Vision is also US based NGO that has done a big job to providing safe water. Their plan was same like UP government plan. They also installed community based filter, but they did one thing different to the government, that they did not hand over the society and they left the area. They installed the filter in village and they form a committee of 50 to 60 households, and they requested these households to collect a nominal amount of fee, monthly fee. They requested them to collect, and by collection of this money they hired a person for backwash, and sometimes if it is needed they can purchase some materials if it is not working, and some other spare parts. So by this way they make it sustainable for 3 to 4 years, not just 1 year. It lasts more than 3 to 4 years. But we are sorry to say that World Vision has now stopped their all programs because their target is completed in our area, and now they are about to leave to any other area to help. And other than World Vision, IIT Bombay has also done something for society. They have a project on safe water, so they install 7 filters in different areas of Ballia district, and they run this project for 5 years. 5 years they test, they monitor, and they take their data that it is able to filter or not, its process is okay or not. And when their project completed they also left, but it lasts for more than 5 years. So we can say that NGOs are more successful compared to the government projects, because here they are not just installing in the village, because there is no dedication in government jobs. They are thinking that it is your duty just to install, but in NGOs it is coming from in their inner heart that no, we are not here just to install, we have to take care of it and we have to make it sustainable for few years. So in this way we can say that NGOs are more successful compared to the government projects. But here one issue is that NGOs can't cover whole district, they can cover some part of the village, some part of the district.
Well, that's a good recap of the history. And so before we go on and talk about the future and Abhishek's project, are there any questions about the history? Quick questions, hopefully, that we could address. Here, I don't see any, so. Okay, so we'll move ahead. I'm going to just start with a quick 1 or 2 minute introduction here. Greg, if we can have next couple of slides. The Abhishek got his PhD back in 2019, and and his specialty is arsenic in the Ballia district. And he no sooner finished that than he started an NGO of his own, which is called the Ballia Water Center. And he, with help from friends in the United States, he has a building now, which is just finished. And Sue and I stayed on the second floor in the guest house, very comfortable accommodations, and our trip there in November, just a couple of months ago. And so Abhishek is going to give us a quick tour of the.
No, the question
Of
is,
the
why
building.
didn't you start?
No,
back?
we're going to skip
Okay.
that. Abhishek's going to give us a quick tour of the building. Or Abhishek, can you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good.
We have constructed this building in 2019, 2020. It takes about 3 to 4 years. It area is about 2,600 square feet, and it has two-story ground floor and first floor. Ground floor is completely for the office work, where we
Greg, could we see the next slide? We'll just advance so that you can see the floor plan here.
yeah,
Go ahead.
this here you can see it is a ground floor. Here we have a big hall with seating capacity for 100 people, and
Next slide.
we have big office, we have kitchens, we on ground floor. So
Yeah, and next
we
one,
have
too.
we have
Next.
laboratory, and you can see that audience are in our hall, where we used to do awareness program. We used to encourage people about safe water. And on first floor there is guest house, a good
Next slide.
big rooms with bright color, and you can stay. We thought that many university people, researchers, and anyone who wants to do some research work or want to visit Ballia district and see the condition of arsenic, then they can come and stay here. We can host here. So we have a very good and big rooms as a guest house. And on roof, we have divided it into two parts. One is we have installed our community based filter, and another part we can do our workshops and some other programs we can do. So you can see our building.
Yes. Oh, right. We have one more slide there just from the roof. We can just,
Yeah, you can see
Yeah.
here that we have 24/7 hours electricity. In rural areas, electricity condition is not good. So we have solar panel and we have 24 hours power backup. So there is no issue.
good, good. And we'll be talking about the filters in a minute, but,
Yes.
so much for the building. So let's talk about the program. How do you plan to build a self-sustaining, center where, that's going to outlast World Vision and the other NGOs that have tried to do something good there?
Yes, sir. Firstly, I want to explain few words that why building is important for us. Actually, when we were in field, I am in field for last 10 years. I am visiting every year and meeting with people. I am taking their health conditions, social conditions, and their water conditions, that it is good or not, how it is changing or not. So I found that many people complain that there is a scam in village. Many people are coming and saying that government has sent us and we are here to spend the government policies. Please give us some money and you will get benefited from that. So now they have cheated several times. Many people have cheated. So now they did not want to meet with a stranger. They are not open to strangers. So we thought that no, we have identity. We are from your area. We have a established office where you can come and see us. You can find us. And after building, we have built a bridge between villagers and Ballia team. And now openly we are meeting with people, and they are now they have trust on us, and they are sharing their feelings. to make it sustainable, we have some products, we sell them, and we have some services. By that, we will get some income to make it sustainable. Among them, water testing is important. By water testing, we can generate some money to make us sustainable, because water testing is not available in Ballia district. We know that we have arsenic, we have iron issue, but if we want to test our water, there is no place where we can test. Government has a lab, district lab, but it result is not reliable. They did not test and they just say randomly after seeing your address that where it falls from their database, they used to give some value. So we thought that no, firstly we have to provide them that they should know that what type of heavy metal are present in their water. So, and we are not just testing their well, we are collecting coordinates of their well water from of their village, and we are making balloon maps as you seen in your last slide. And we will keep this type of maps on our website, and anyone can easily find that their village is in safe zone or contaminated zone, so it will be helpful for them. Second one is selling of filtered water. Many people are selling filtered water there, and they are charging about $50 for 20 liter, and there is no testing, no monitoring, and people are just thinking that they are purchasing that water by money, so it may be safe, there may be not some other heavy metals, but it is not true. So they requested us to provide some solutions for this, because where we belong, the socio-economic condition is not very high. Only few people belongs to high class. So they want something in less amount, that nominal cost they can get safe water, because they are basically they are farmers and laborers. So we thought that we installed a community based filter at our center, and we have a debit card, we have distributed them, and anyone can come with that debit card and they can swipe that card, and they can get 20-liter water just on a nominal cost. We are not charging high, and they can carry on their motorbike, on their bicycle, easily they can carry it. They will come with a container and they can fetch their water. And in future, if we will be sustainable, we will use this community based filter in a form of kiosk in our surrounding towns where this type of issue is high, and people can easily come and they can get their water just on a nominal cost. By this we are charging this nominal cost. By this we can sustain our filter, and we can pay some amount for that man who will take care of backwash, cleaning and maintaining of these filters. So third one is sale of tabletop filters. Many people asked us that our male partner is in some other cities for bread and butter, they are doing jobs, they are working in field, so they are not able to come to fetch their water. So we thought that no, we have to do something for those families also, because they can't get contaminated water. So we thought that there should be something in small that they can use in their home and they can filter their water. So we designed a filter, and we will outsource hardware materials and chemicals from some other companies, and we will assemble it at our center, and we are trying to make it cheaper and cheaper and cheaper that anyone can afford this and they can purchase. So by this we can earn some money, and that filters, tabletop filters that are available in local market, comparatively they are not good to our filters, because that filter which are available in market, they are clogged after few weeks due to arsenic iron, because they are not especially designed for arsenic, but our filter is especially designed for arsenic, so it can last for a year, and after a year they have to recharge the media. So by recharging the media we can also earn some money, so by this we can make it sustainable. And fourth is renting part, some part of our building. Basically we have reserved our guest house and our hall for university people, government people, and any researcher who is interested to do research in arsenic. So they will come, and if it is vacant then we can give on a rent, we can book for a day, and by that renting we can earn some money. So by this we can make it sustainable and we can run for a long time.
Yeah, well, that's very good. Abhishek, we perhaps to complement your presentation, Greg, we could just run, we had a couple of slides here that that support that. Just go next one. This isn't exactly the way we planned it, but go ahead, just scroll down till we get. Oh, so sources of income, okay,
That's right.
I'm sorry. So that, back up just one. No, well, the water testing, okay, the sources of income that Abhishek just talked about. The four things: the testing of the water samples, the sale of the filtered water, the tabletop filters, and the building rental. So next one will just show what the testing involves, what is for arsenic, for iron concentration, for the test kits for the arsenic. The next one,
Yes.
one down, yep. These are used test strips. The black ones are from wells that are heavily contaminated. The lighter ones are from wells with less arsenic. That's how you find out how much arsenic there is. And that doing one of those tests takes about 15 minutes or so. And let's see, I think we might have one more slide there in this group. So the treatment is the same regardless of what kind of filter you have, whether it's a tabletop or whether it's a community filter. All the treatments remove the arsenic and other heavy metals. They reduce the iron concentration because that's a problem. People get kidney stones from excess iron. Reduce the hardness. The water there is very hard and so hard to make things feel clean. And the water is dirty, and the filters remove the excess solids and they remove the bacteria. And so, and as Abhishek said, they do that without taking all the minerals out. They just remove the heavy metals and the excess iron. They leave the beneficial minerals like copper and manganese that the human body needs, don't get taken out as they do with some of the other commercial filters. Greg, one more, can you see? I think we have one more there. Yeah, so the community filters, the one on the roof, which you saw before, this one is working or just about to be put to work and will be available to, Abhishek, is it something like 100 families can get their water from this one
200
facility?
families can.
Right. And then when the center can afford to buy them, these water ATMs, they're like little kiosks that will be in the towns and villages where people who come to do their shopping can come by. They can get a glass of water, or they can get a 20 like a 5-gallon bottle full of water to take home on their bikes. And they're activated with both coins and credit cards. This is something that was unthinkable 10 years ago, but the technology for this kind of thing has really moved along, and it really is feasible, and it could be a significant income source if we get a number of these going. And Abhishek, did you want to say something about how this activity can grow? Because everything right now is based at one place. It's just in Barabari.
Yes, yes.
What are your plans there?
Sir, it is our plan that after some times we will move forward. Now we are operating all our activities from our main office, Ballia Water Center, which we saw. It is the main branch, and in future when we will go in outer areas and we will cover more villages, then we will open our branch offices just to help the people from that village, because they have not to travel a long distance to come to the main branch. They will visit their branch office, and they can get solved their issues in a short time of period. And it will be also helpful for our branch office staff, and they can easily solve the issues of that areas, because we are going to sell filters in many villages because it is in demand. We have already 150 order, and slowly when we will go in some other village, so they will demand, and or we have a agent, they will work on commission. They will sell each filter and get some commission. So by this, they will be there and easily they can help people. So branch offices are in our target in future to cover the whole Ballia district.
Great. Well, an inevitable question that will come up after hearing all these business things, the ways of making money. What if somebody asks, well, what's the difference between the Ballia Water Center and a company? Why are you an NGO and not just a for-profit company? What makes you different?
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, I last year one program was telecast in India, Shark Tank India. It is already in USA, Shark Tank USA. I am fond of this program, and I used to see that how people are getting their small business up to a large scale and they are making money. I appreciate their work, and I also thought that I should do, but I thought that no, I am here to help the society, not to make money. We are not here to get a big profit. We are just thinking to get a nominal profit. By that we can make it successful, sustainable for a long time, not to make 10 times 20 times money, because here people have not that condition that they can pay a high amount. We are here to help poor people that they can afford that things. So we thought that we will go through NGO, not through the business, because NGO has a motto or mission is to help societies, not to make money. So I thought that no, I have to work on it, and I have to form a NGO, not a business. Because if I will form business, then I will not be concentrated on only in arsenic prone areas, because my target will be to make money and to some anyhow I have to earn. So it was not in our motto. So I thought that no, I have to go for NGO and I have to serve the society.
So, good. Well, Greg, we have just, I think we have one slide here which indicates some of the activities that a company wouldn't do.
And there's the
Uh,
tabletop filter.
This is the tabletop filter we
Yes.
have there. And it's Drinkwell, which makes a corporation that makes filters very much like this, but Abhishek has sort of redesigned this filter so that you can take it apart and clean it, which is a big help, because the water in this district has so much dissolved solids that it would tend to get clogged. And also has a version which with stainless steel pails, which apparently appeals to people's aesthetic tastes more than this plastic model does. But let's run down just I think we got one last slide after this. Yes, just 3 activities that a company would not be doing. One is the on-demand testing, which Abhishek described, and providing information to the public on a website. This is something that the companies don't do, and the government doesn't do either. But for some reason, the government keeps everything to themselves. They're very they do very little in way of sharing of information. And the other thing that Abhishek's already put a lot of effort into is the outreach and public education, making people aware of the dangers of drinking contaminated water. Meetings are just one medium, but he's using posters and leaflets, and has friends in the local newspapers and TV that have really helped him to promote this idea.
Also, the picture of the women, I was at this meeting. Well, we both were at this meeting, and Abhishek and another man from his team were talking about other things they might do and asking the women, like, would they like sort of play groups for young children was one of them. What about yoga classes? What were some of the other things you asked? And the women were very enthusiastic and not at all shy about telling him if there was some idea they didn't like. Abhi, what other things did you mention at that meeting? I've forgotten.
Well, one of the things I remember was that some of these women are on your sales staff, isn't that right? They work on commission, and
His voice is silent for some reason.
Oh, are you
Abhishek.
muted, Abhi?
Sorry. Yes.
Ah.
Few of them women are from our team, and they are visiting village to village. They are talking with women, because women are important, because they are living in contact with water from morning to evening. So in our team we have women also, and they are talking with directly women, because in rural areas a man can't talk directly to women. So we have women in team that if any lady is not coming outside, then they can go inside and they can talk. And they also want us to start some women empowerment programs, like micro scale some programs that they can earn some money and they can help to make it sustainable. So they thought that please start some small activities. By doing that they can earn some money and center can be also sustainable. So they demanded many things like making pickles, making jams, making some household materials by local products, and sewing, making bags, dolls. Like this, they thought that they are ready to help, and by this they can also get some money, and center can also earn some money.
Abhishek, how do you, given the corruption that you described in India, how do you stop a situation where, or are you worried about a situation where someone might come and saying, oh, there's the Ballia Water Center, but they charge too much. You can buy my filter, which, you know, maybe doesn't do anything, but you can buy my filter for half the price. How, are you worried about that? Or are your filters so cheap that no one's going to bother to try to scam you?
Actually, sir, in our locality, no, only some companies are selling filters and they are not coming to personally that please purchase our filter, because they are just in a shop, and if you are capable and if you want, then you can purchase. And they are not especially designed for arsenic, they are designed for some uh, TDS. If it has high TDS, total dissolved solids, then it can minimize, it can control the pH, but it is not for heavy metals. And we have done a survey, and many families we visited and we tested this type of filters that are available in homes, and we tested and we discussed and we found that they are saying that it is very expensive, because we have to change its media every 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and it is coming in the half of the filter price. So, and it is clogged. Why they are not using? Because the filtration rate is very low, it is coming very slow, so you have to collect 1 liter, you have to wait 1 hour. But in our filter there is no issue of water clogging, because it is specially designed for heavy metals. It has different sections for different heavy metals. Suppose I tested your water and I found that your water has iron and arsenic, so I will use two chemical that will remove iron and arsenic separately, so you have not to worry about the clogging, and it will smoothly filter the water, and its filtration rate is also high. Just in a minute you can get 1 liter water. So there is no compare from that filters. Our filter is cheaper just because we are not, it is not so nicely in look wise, it is not so good, but work wise it is good.
So, under,
Abhishek, you talked about a nominal price. So if somebody comes to the big filter in the center to get 20 liters of water, how much would that cost them?
Generally in our local market, people are, many vendors are selling 20-liter water and they are charging 40 INR. It may be $0.50.
Mhm.
If a labor that is earning just 200 or 300 INR in a day, then how he can spend 20 or 40 rupees just for water? So, and there is, I have also visited many these vendors, I have tested them, and I found that there is no maintenance, they are not providing any testing report. For they installed today, they purchased, and 1 year, 2 year, just they are filtering and selling in after packing in a bottle water. So you can't cross check also. You have a trust that you are paying and you are getting that water. So it may be good, safe water, but it is not true. In our case,
Yeah.
or
And you're, co-
we are providing, and one also there is one difference that is RO, reverse osmosis, and our is a natural filter. It will filter only harmful contaminants, and
Right.
we
What
are
is,
we are
what is the
just
cost
charging
of?
10 rupees. We have decided 5 to 10 rupees, just 5 to 10 rupees.
so that's compared to 40,
Yeah.
so that's 25% of the market rate.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So,
Other questions?
so other questions?
I have a
Mike?
question, Mike. Hi,
Yeah.
Abhishek. It's Mary
Huh?
Lynn from
Mm.
the college. It's so good to see you again and to hear this really astounding success story. And I know how much some folks here on this screen have contributed to it. It's just so good to see you. I have one question for you. Does this technology have any application for institutions like schools?
For
Do,
top,
do schools use water or have water available?
yes, we can get for, not for for schools, college, community based filters are good, not for not tabletop filters, but
Gotcha.
otherwise if you want then we can put.
Excellent. It's brilliant work. Brilliant.
Well, Larry?
Yeah, thanks, Michael. I'm interested in comparisons of water usage. Could you tell me the average household usage in gallons per day or liters per day in your village versus what we do in the US for water usage?
Oh, you are asking about filtering capacity of our filter.
I'm
No,
just
No.
asking,
how much water does a family in Bear Arbor use every day?
Yeah, actually, it depends on the number, size of the family members, and basically 20 to 40 liters a common family use. About 40 liters.
Would be a
Okay,
big family.
Yeah.
big difference
There
in
is
here. Yeah.
one issue due to lack of awareness. There is one issue that people are, if they are purchasing water from the market and they are paying a high amount, then they are just drinking that water. They are not using that water for cooking. So they are consuming the contamination through the food. So we requested them that please do use this water to cooking also, not just drinking. So we buy our water, they can get more water in that price and they can cook as well as they can drink.
Very good. Thank you.
Is there, I think you may have answered this, but are there plans to add water filters over time to the central location? And a second question, and there probably isn't time, is there any way of monitoring the success of the tabletop? Are the people maintaining it and cleaning it and testing their water down the road?
Yeah, yes, for your second question, actually, ma'am, I did not get your first question. Can you repeat?
Oh, yes. Are you adding some of those filters to the central location as you grow?
Yes, yes. It is our plan that we discussed about kiosk that we will install this type of filter in market where many people are coming for their daily marketing and they can collect water from there. So it is our plan to install kiosk in different towns where people can get their water and they have not to travel big distance. And for tabletop filters, you are asking that they can taste. Ma'am, it is in our plan that we will test 1 year, it is okay, and we will give them a warranty that if within 1 year, if there will be any issue, we will change the media. Suppose your water is not up to the WHO mark, or it is now filtering speed is not high, so we will change at once, there is no issue. And after 1 year we have maintenance, we have made a tariff and they will pay, and every month our team will test, so they can test, they can know that their filter is still okay or not.
Excellent, great.
You also, Avi, have what I'll call them field agents. I don't know, but people who will be going out to monitor exactly what you're talking about, Virginia, to be in the villages, and then people can have a way to face say to somebody, there's a problem with my filter. And then they get in touch with the main office.
Yes, yes, yes. Every village has our team members, and they will, suppose there is a village and we will hire 2 persons from there and they will take care of that locality. And suppose you get any issue, you have to contact directly to that man and he will take care of your issue. You have not to come to the main office, you have just go to you have to just contact to your agent and he will fix your issue.
Good. Well, thank you, Abhishek. I see the time is 10 o'clock. So I think we should thank Abhishek and maybe give Sue a minute to just say what she's going to talk about next week.
Okay, so next week we're going back to the same area of India, the area where we first met Abhi. And I've cut a rather big topic, the culture and education in India, down to talking about the educational issues from the village perspective. And you'll hear some of these same themes about the caste differences, the economic difference, and the corruption coming up.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Abhi. Great to see
Yes,
you.
yes.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Abhishek.
And I requested everyone, please come to India and visit our center and see how we are working in field. Please come and see and see the real scenario of Ballia district. Please come to
Great.
visit, and you have not to worry to stay. We are here to host you. We are here to guide you. So don't worry. Please come to India and visit our center.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Abhidesh. Yeah, I will send my question to Mike. Pass to you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
thanks.
Thanks, Chuck.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Bye.
Abhishek, I have a question for you before you leave. Once people start drinking the clean water, do the symptoms disappear over a certain amount of time? Or, I mean, like how
Yes.
I'm trying to think like,
Yes, yes, sir.
people know that it's
We have done a survey on this. Sir, in arsenic prone areas, we have done surveys and we have seen many girls who have arsenic lesions, keratosis, they have arsenic lesions on their body. And when they got married and they went to some other cities and it has not arsenic, and after some times they told us that now we are feeling good, our sores are okay now, and it is disappearing with passage of time. So if you will consume safe water, then with the passage of time it will removed. Good morning, ma'am. Hi, Mary.
Mhm. So,
Well, many people here have to leave to go to church. Since And so I think we're gonna, we could probably keep you a long time talking about a lot of things, Abhishek, but we're going to say goodbye for now.
Right. And Harrison, who just joined us, I'll call you on FaceTime
And
and
we have this recorded.
this is recorded.
Perfect.
Good.
Hi, Harrison, sir.
Hi.
Long life,
thanks.
good luck, Abhishek.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Good. So bye.
Bye. Sir.
Thank,
Bye. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I think.
Thank you, ma'am. Mary, ma'am, please come India. We are waiting for you for a long time. Okay, Greg, sir. Thank you.